Hi everyone! In this video we will review the steps for doing a literature search. The first step is to log onto an article database. Article databases are great resources for browsing journal articles and sometimes chapters of books that are related to a research topic of interest. They will provide you with a summary description of each article so that you can decide if you want to go locate that article in the library. And sometimes, if you're lucky, actually most of the time nowadays, they will include links to electronic copies of the articles so you don't have to make a trip to the library. The best psychology article database at our fingertips is the one that is hosted by the Marriott Library at the U. So we will start by going to the U of U website, and we are there now. You can get here by going to www.utah.edu. Then from here, we'll go over to Students and then straight down to Marriott Library. Next time, if you want to go straight to the Marriott Library, you can do so by going straight to www.lib.utah.edu. So from here, we're going to go to Research Databases, right here. And then down to Browse Database by Subject. Please note that the layout of the Marriott Library website pages is changing all of the time, so by the time you are viewing this video, things may look just a bit different, but the overall organization should always be close to the same. Anyway, so under Browse Database by Subject, scroll down till you get to Psychology, and here we go. Alright, so here you can see a number of psychology article databases hosted by the U. However, the one that is most inclusive is PsycInfo, and you can see they even put it at the very top here, because it's used most often. So let's click on that one. And if you are not on campus when accessing PsycInfo, you will be prompted to log in using your UID and password. Oh, there we go. Now, there are multiple tools for searching PsycInfo. We aren't going to review all of them here. You can get more info on each type of search mode by clicking on the question mark right here. Boolean phrase is the default. This search mode will treat whatever string of words you type into the search box up here as a phrase, unless you use the Boolean operators and, or not. For example, if you want to search for articles that contain both the keywords autism and ADHD, you will want to type in autism and ADHD. That will result in articles that must have both terms listed. Or if you are interested in autism or ADHD, but you don't necessarily need articles that discuss both disorders within the same article, you will want to type in autism or ADHD, like so. Or say that you are interested in autism but not ADHD. You can pull up articles that only discuss autism by typing in autism not ADHD. Using these Boolean operators can be very helpful in expanding or narrowing a search when the number of articles that results is too few or too many. So let's initiate a search. Let's say that you are interested in how having a pet can affect one's health. You may want to start with pets and health. Keep in mind that if you had just typed in pets health without this and here, it would be treated like a phrase rather than two individual keywords. But we want to look up these two individual keywords, so we're going to add and in here. So next, let's click on search. And when we do this, it looks like we get 1,590 results, at least at this point in time. That is way too many to review, which means our search was too broad. As a general rule of thumb, if a search results in more than 100 articles, your topic is too broad. Or if you get fewer than 10 matches, your topic is probably too narrow. One way we could narrow this search down is to focus on the elderly. So I'm going to add in "and elderly" to our search and then hit search. That brings us down to 80, which is still a lot, but it's more manageable. We can also narrow down the number of results by looking for fewer articles, say within the last 5 years. So over here we can adjust the publication date. Let's have it start at 2008. Update. We can also limit our search to only those sources that have a copy of the full article linked by checking this box right here next to linked full text. So that way we don't have to go looking for it in the library. However, I usually don't do this because I may miss a really important article simply because PsycInfo didn't have a copy of it linked. Looking through our results, we can see by the icons on the left that most of these are academic journals. This will often be the case, and academic journals, in particular peer-reviewed journals, should make up the majority of the sources that you list in your papers. The term peer-reviewed means that each article published in the journal was critically evaluated by other researchers in that same field of study. This is so important because it means that the research was held to high standards and had to be accepted by other researchers as well-conducted science. You can make sure that all of the results that you pull up in a search are from peer-reviewed sources by clicking on this box over here next to peer-reviewed journals. However, it is okay to use and include in your paper some sources that are not peer-reviewed. You just have to keep in mind that a source does not carry as much conviction or weight if it isn't peer-reviewed. The reason for this is that, say in a book chapter, an author can write whatever he or she wants, regardless of whether or not it was based on sound, well-conducted science. And you will find that even in peer-reviewed sources, sometimes the study wasn't carried out so well, and you may question whether the scientist's claims are justified based on the results of their study. But if a source was peer-reviewed, that means that at least some researchers reviewed it and found it to be legitimate and well-conducted. So, going back to books, let's see if we can go to the next page and find any book chapters. Okay, so here we go. Here's one. Usually these are single chapters within books. And again, it is okay to use books. They can be really great sources for becoming more familiar with the background of a topic you are new to. You just don't want to base all of your claims within a research paper on books, since they have not been peer-reviewed and tend to be more opinionated than objective. So going back to the first page, let's say we are interested in this article right here, Health Effects of Ownership of and Attachment to Companion Animals in an Older Population. If we go ahead and click on the title, it will pull up a page of information on the article. Below the title of the article, we have the author's names, the source, the journal the article is published in, some other keywords that could be used to search for the same article. This, by the way, is a great way to get ideas of keywords to use to find other similar articles. And we have the abstract, which is a summary of the article. And it looks like down here we also have information about the characteristics of the participants that were used in the study. And down here by publication type, we can see that this article was published in a peer-reviewed journal. So by reading the abstract, we can decide if we want to go ahead and locate and read the full article. If we do, we should first look to see if there is a linked copy of the full article up here in the top left. And it looks like indeed we have a PDF copy of it. So let's go ahead and open it up. And for my own personal preference, I'm going to go ahead and open it up in a new window. So let's review the main sections of a typical journal article. At the beginning, you can see the abstract. Next will follow the introduction. The abstract and the introduction usually do not have headings, but they're usually the first two sections of a paper and pretty easy to identify. The introduction will give us a background of the study and what other researchers have found in other related studies. Next, we have the methods section. This section will tell us exactly how the study was designed and carried out so that if somebody else wanted to replicate the study, they could do so. And next we have the results section. Here we can find the statistical findings of the study along with tables and charts of what was found. And then finally we have the discussion section, which basically wraps the paper up. It reviews the results of the study and how those results fit in and inform the field. And at the very end, we have the references section, which lists the information for looking up any of the articles or book chapters that were cited within the paper. This is another great place for looking up other sources related to your topic of interest. So let's go back to the beginning and say, as we were reading, we decided we wanted to look up one of the sources that are cited. Let's say we wanted to locate this article by Brown and Rhodes, published in 2006. Next, we will go back to the references section and find the reference for Brown and Rhodes 2006. And here we go. The most important information for looking up an article will be included here in the references section. The authors, the year of publication, the title of the article, the journal title, the volume, and the page numbers. So let's go back to PsycInfo and see if we can pull it up. So instead of using the basic search, we're going to go ahead and use the advanced search to see if we can find this specific article. So we're going to click right here on Advanced Search. With Advanced Search, you can specify what field each search word belongs to. It's usually easiest to start by searching for the first two or so authors' names and the publication year. So here I'm going to select author and type in Brown, and author once again, and type in Rhodes. And then finally, scroll all the way down to year of publication and type in 2006 and search. And it looks like we got two results. If we had gotten too many and still couldn't find our article, we could go ahead and add another search term. Let's do that to see how it's done. So right here we can click on Add a Row to add another search term. Let's look back to our reference to see what other information we could enter in. We could enter in the name of the journal it was published in. I'm going to go ahead and copy this to save myself keystrokes. And let's go back to our PsycInfo search. And so now we're going to select publication name. And that is right here. And then we'll go ahead and type in or paste the name of our journal and click search. And here we go. Now it's the only result that pops up. Let's click on the title to open it up. So over here to the left, we don't see a link to a PDF copy of the article like we did before. Sometimes you will see this check SFX for full text. I have a love-hate relationship with going this route for full text copies of articles. Usually you will be directed to the journal's website, and from there you may be sent on a maze to search for your article. And at the end of the maze, if the Marriott Library has a subscription to the journal, you may be able to download a copy of the full article for free, but sometimes you will be told you have to pay for it. But let's go ahead and click on it and see what we get. And we've got two links here. Let's go ahead and try this first one. And it looks like we lucked out. We've got a copy of the article right here. We can even download a PDF of it. If you find that you are unable to access an article for free, the next step is to see if the Marriott Library has a hard copy of the journal. If they do, you will need to go find the journal in the library and make a photocopy of the article. Let's go back to our original article and find an example. So most journals are now actually available online. In fact, when I checked this original article before, the only journal I could not find online was this one. Let's see, under Crawford, Worsham, and Swinehart. So let's search for this journal just to see what we need to do to locate an article that's not online. I'm going to go ahead and copy the name of the journal. And now to do this, I'm going to open up a new tab and go back to the Marriott Library website. Oops. And now I'm going to click on the Use Search tab, and then I'm going to paste the name of the journal in the search box. And hit oops, and now hit go. And here it is. If we click on Locations and Request, we will be able to view where the library has a hard copy of the journal. Okay, so now we need to see if they have the particular volume of the journal that our article was published in. Looking back to my reference, we can see that we need volume 19, which was published in 2006. By the way, occasionally when you see the volume numbers, next to them, just to the right, you will also see a number in parentheses. If you ever do see this, this is just the issue number. So let's go back to the library website and look for volume 19, published in 2006. And here we go. So when we click here, we're given the location of the journal within the library. Finally, let's say that the library does not have a copy of the article that we want. We can submit a request for the Marriott Library to search other libraries for it and to email us a copy of the article. Go to the result page in PsycInfo for our article. Let's just say it was this article that we couldn't find a hard copy of. And along the left, look for Request through Marriott Interlibrary Loan. But do make sure you first check to see if the library has a copy of what you were looking for. Oftentimes, all the information that you need to enter to submit a request is filled in automatically. After you complete all of the required information, click on Submit Request. If the library is able to find a copy of your article, they will send it to you in an email. Or if you are requesting a book, they will email you to let you know that it has arrived and you can go pick it up at the library. This is an amazing resource, but the downside is that it can take several days to a week or more for the resource to come in. So you really do need to plan ahead. So those are all of the basics for completing a literature search. If you have any questions about how the article databases work, you can click on the link in the PsycInfo page in the upper right-hand corner, Ask a Librarian. There we go. This is a great resource as well, and they even have live online support.